because of all the uncertainty around the United States, because the economic turmoil that we are headed towards, and because of the stock market chaos, many people are asking the one question that I've been getting more than anything else over the past several weeks is, are we getting those $5,000 dividend refund checks? Well, I'm going to answer that in today's video because what we've seen over the past 24 hours is actually a very good indication of whether or not we're going to receive those and potentially how much those checks may be. So stick around for this entire video and I'll explain exactly what is going on and whether or not you should look forward to these Doge dividend refund checks here in the near future. So I'll break all this down in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing, takes 2 seconds, go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates, and now let's begin. So the past 24 hours have been a whirlwind. Look at this. It says the markets rocked by Trump show economic fear across Wall Street. There's another one that says U.S. stock market loses $4 trillion in value as Trump plows ahead on tariffs. And then this one, U.S. stocks plunge as fears grow over economic slowdown. Everybody is worried about the U.S. economy, the Trump administration included. But what does this mean for the potential $5,000 Doge dividend refund checks? Well, here's what you need to understand. With these tariffs going into effect, and actually tariffs that are paused temporarily for Canada and Mexico, that brings a lot of uncertainty to the U.S. economy and to other economies around the world, which means we need to try to bring stability back to the United States. Well, how do we do that? Would these $5,000 checks create stability here in the United States? The answer, unfortunately, is no. According to experts, these potential $5,000 Doge dividend checks could be so far from what we are going to see. Not just the amount, but the reality that these actually get passed. Here's the reason why. These tariffs are going to put more pressure on the American people. Here's the issue. The only reason we would see a potential $5,000 dividend refund check, and in a moment I'll give you an actual amount that according to experts is a little closer to reality, but the only reason why these potential $5,000 Doge dividend refund checks were even being discussed is because the Trump administration, along with Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, were going to save the United States and taxpayers $2 trillion in spending. And if we took just 20% of that, which would be $400 billion, divide that by 80 million people, that comes out to $5,000 per household. Well, according to reports, the Trump administration is going to have a very difficult time laying off, hundreds of thousands of workers. They're also going to have a very difficult time getting rid of certain buildings and trying to make the government smaller and less efficient, especially if we are diving towards a recession. What just happened today, just to give you an idea, since February 19th's all-time high of the S&P 500, the S&P 500 has dropped 8%. Okay? Just today, I believe, Tesla is down $125 billion. Very soon, as an investor of Tesla myself, I'm extremely concerned. So very soon, according to experts, they believe Elon Musk is not going to have a say in this government. He is going to have to go back and fix the companies like Tesla. Think about X, for instance. X was hit with a major cyber attack just today and took it down. Yeah, Elon Musk needs to go back and fix his companies, according to experts. As an investor, when Elon Musk was present, Tesla does well. When he's not, well, this is what it's doing. It sells off and loses $125 billion in one day. That's concerning. So if Elon Musk isn't there, and I believe Elon Musk is the one that's really pushing for all these savings and trying to find different ideas to save the government money. If he's not there, then there may not be a $2 trillion savings. Experts believe it will be closer to $500 billion to $1 trillion. Even if we get to $1 trillion, okay, that's a pretty big number. Experts also believe we would not see a 20% or 20% of that savings go back towards the American people. Instead, we would likely see more of the money just paying off our federal deficit, which is up over $36 trillion. And sometime this year, it is actually going to go even higher. Okay? But experts are also saying that sometime in 2025, our interest payments alone are going to exceed $1 trillion. Interest alone. That's a massive number. So, here's what you need to understand. Will the uncertainty of tariffs increase the chances of getting these checks? According to experts, they say no. It will actually do the complete opposite. But why? The problem with these checks is that they're likely to go to the middle income and higher households, not the lower income households. So experts say the problem is that the group getting these checks is not the group that's getting hit hardest in this economy. Yeah, we saw a huge sell-off today. People probably lost thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars in investments, in their income, okay, in their investment portfolio. But the concern is that they're still up. So why would we need to give people that are still doing extremely well and have investments, why would we need to give them potentially $5,000? We wouldn't. So the chances are actually getting smaller, not going up. And then there's this, okay? With this sell-off today, again, keep in mind, this was a massive sell-off, okay? We've lost about $4 trillion in value in the past month, okay? That's a huge, huge loss. But this is what they're saying. The United States is getting pushed closer and closer to a recession. I said this earlier this morning that a recession is imminent. President Trump said something very similar, but not using those exact words. So experts say the United States is getting closer and closer to a recession. But here's the issue. Households, when they see their net worth change, for instance, let's say the real estate goes down. That's usually the majority of Americans, that is their biggest asset is real estate. Let's say real estate drops by 25%. Okay? So instead of a $1 million house, you only have a $750,000 house. Let's say it's all paid off, right? You own it clean and clear, right? You're good to go. So you went from $1 million net worth per se to $750,000. Now, most people are gonna be like, okay, well, I lost 25%. I probably shouldn't go on this vacation. Probably shouldn't go and buy this new car, right? Go and buy a vacation home. Can't do those things. Can't pay for that renovation. But now when you look at the majority of Americans, it's a $400,000 home. That's about average. You lose 100, or let's say you lose 25% of that. That's $100,000 you just lost in your net worth. So instead of $400,000 as your net worth, now you only have $300,000. More people are gonna be like, okay, I can't pay for the new furniture. I can't go and buy a new TV because, well, things are a little bit tight. I'm worried about my job. And what if I do have to sell my home in the future? What do I do at that point? This is where Americans are at. Consumers are going to change, and they say the changes will be drastic. Now, what they're expecting is we are going to spend less, not more. This is going to push us even closer to a recession. If the United States ends up in a recession, which according to reports, it is very likely, there will be a very, very small chance that the American people receive any of that money coming back from Doge, because there will be there'll be a greater pushback from lawmakers to not make cuts to the federal government, because that is what might be keeping these people afloat, is the money coming in from the federal government paying for these different programs and paying for all these federal workers. That could be what's keeping the economy afloat. But if we cut 50%, like for instance, they're planning on cutting 50% of the VA workforce. 50%. That's a huge number. So based off what experts are telling us, is that as we see more problems here in the economy, as we get closer to a recession, as there's more uncertainty surrounding tariffs, that's putting more clarity around these potential $5,000 Doge dividend refund checks. And they're saying that they are very unlikely at that point. Now, what I know a lot of people are wondering, how much could these checks be if they do go through? Based off of what we've seen over the past really 72 hours, actually really over the past 4 to 5 days, that there's a very high likelihood that these still go through, but probably in 26 or 27, not in 2025. And if they do go through, these are going to be much smaller. They will likely top out at about $1,500. That's per household. That means $750 for like a husband and $750 for the wife or spouse and spouse or whatever. Okay? So just understand that $5,000 dividend refund check that everybody's been discussing, based off what we're seeing right now, it's becoming less and less obvious that it's actually going to happen. So we'll see what happens moving forward, but I just wanted to share this with you because I know a lot of people are asking, is this still a possibility? It is, but the possibilities keep on shrinking. So as we get more information on this, I promise I'll bring you all the latest news and updates, but that's what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.